Alright y'all, here's all I needed for making this new rod holder mount to go on the back of my boat. I bought a 10-foot stick of Schedule 40 PVC. I cut one piece 50 inches, which is what worked out for the right length to fit on the back of my boat where I wanted it to mount. Two pieces 28 inches long. That allows me to have turnaround room in my back seat to swivel my knees under it and not have to worry about hitting it. Two 4-inch toilet flanges, the kind that bolt through the floor or to the floor. Two 4-inch Schedule 40 90s. A ruler, a pencil, a pocket knife, and as you can see, a reciprocating saw. Now, if you're going to use a reciprocating saw for this, make sure you got a blade that's at least 6 inches long in it so that you don't have the tip of your blade catching in the pipe when you cut it and kicking back on you. Now, the only other thing I need to do is get some glue it together. When I come back, I'll show you all the glued together unit, the mock-up of how these things are going to attach to the Schedule 40 pipe that's going to be for the crossbar, and I'm going to show you what I did for a washer system that I think is going to work out really good. As you can see, I cut a section of the Schedule 40 about, you can't tell the length of it in there, it's about 3.5, 4 inches long, 3 inches wide or so. Drilled a hole through it, then put a metal washer on that so it gives more contact surface. Now, obviously this one's not tightened up, you can see a gap between the washer. And then put the nut on the end of that. With it not even tight, the nut's all the way up enough to be flush with the end of the rod on the rod holder itself. And we haven't even tightened it up. I could still run this nut up some more, and then once we tighten it, we'll have plenty of thread to tighten it in. And guys, that thing's solid in there. I mean, I put a bar on it to torque it, and you're not going anywhere with it. I don't believe that there's a fish in the country could pull it out of there, because you just simply can't get that kind of torque on the drag systems of the reels that we use. You're only going to be getting 20 pound, and by the time you use that as a lever being sponged off the end of that rod, you're not going to get any kind of pressure on that like that. But I just want to show you how I did that. Now the trick is I got to make a tool to cover the full length of that 50-inch piece of tubing. So what I'm going to do is just use a wooden rod and tape a wrench to the end of it that I can hold the bolt up on, the nut rather, up on it, because it's a shoulder nut so it won't fall through the wrench. And then I can just tighten it down by turning the rod holder around and around until I get the thread all the way through that, and then tighten the top bolt up here as the boss nut, and then we're good to go. But hey, and a quick note, when you're using that glue, make sure you're in a ventilated area, because if you ain't, it makes you feel kind of. All right, y'all, here it is, unpainted. I'll show it painted and mounted on the boat next time. It's 50 inches wide, 28 inches tall, 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC, glued, and it's going to be screwed together at each joint as well, so that none of the joints can come apart. Sporting, of course, monster rod holders. I've got a 5th one to go in the middle. I just ain't went out to the boat and got it yet. But next time you see her, she'll be painted on the boat. All right, y'all. We got the boat back to the barn. There she is, mounted up with 5 monster rod holders. Painted it that terrible looking brown for one reason. That's the only stinking color spray paint I had in the dadgum shop. But it'll do. I ain't worried about pretty. I'm not trying to get a date. I'm trying to catch catfish. Now, I'm kind of shocked how rigid this thing is. You have to really put a lot of juice to it to get it to shake or move. But I'm still going to come in about right here, about halfway up, with a piece of flat bar stock bent on an angle to come down and mount down here
to give it linear strength, but I don't believe if all 4 rods went down at one time, you'd have to worry about it at this point. You know, it is made out of PVC. Joints can get loose and stuff, and that's my point of why I want to put in that angle piece. But there it is. Total cost on this, not counting the rod holders, of course, about 45 bucks with stainless steel screws that we put it on, or bolts and nuts and washers rather, and lock nuts that we put it on with, 4 on each side. We bought 2 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC toilet flanges. Again, it's Schedule 40 PVC all the way up, the elbows on both sides, all of it. It seems to be solid as a rock. Now, in my opinion, there could very well be possibilities that it could have issues later. I don't see it happening, to be honest. It seems to be pretty good, but we're gonna find out when I get ready to go down to Watts Bar and we start putting some hopefully 40-50 pound class fish against that. Then it'll really get tested. Or you can't never tell if I'm on the beast. I may actually get a hold of something, one of them fish with the stripes on it, one of them referee fish as I like to call them, and put some torque on it then. But I believe it's going to hold up just fine. I appreciate y'all watching. This is the Fat Man. I'm gone. Hey guys, if you like the video, hit subscribe. Don't forget to click that bell so you get notifications the next time we put out a video. Appreciate you. It's the Fat Man. I'm gone.